25/8 is in the business of time. We help leaders of small and medium-sized businesses work smarter, not harder, so they feel like they have an extra hour in the day and day in the week. Go from don't know what I don't know to I can't miss this show, as we talk proven strategies, practical tips and insider insights from a diverse range of industry leaders. Make time to grow your capabilities and confidence with 25/8. Think about the last time someone sent you a referral. Felt good, didn't it? Validation, proof that what you do matters. A new client without spending a cent on marketing. Now, think about this. What if that referral never came? What if your best referral source moved on, changed systems, started recommending someone else, or simply got busy? Would your business still grow, or would it quietly stall? If the honest answer is, I'm not sure, then this episode is for you. Welcome to Make Time, where today I want to talk about one of the most comfortable and quietly dangerous growth strategies in small business, referrals. I'm your host, Sam, and I'm passionate about helping you and your business thrive by working smarter, not harder. And thank you for joining me on this episode. Now, just to clarify, I am not here to tell you referrals are bad. They're not. Referrals are one of the most powerful signals that you're doing great work. But there's a critical difference between referrals being a benefit of doing great work and referrals being your entire growth strategy. One is reward, the other is risk. And today I want to show you the difference, explain why it matters more than ever, and give you a practical framework for building a business that grows by design rather than hope. Back in the days of owning a marketing consultancy, most people who walked through our doors did so because they had hit a plateau and they didn't know what to do next. They hadn't really marketed themselves before, and now they needed our help. They'd grown their business on referrals, but when they stopped coming or slowed, it impacted their business considerably. Let's consider for a second that referrals are great, but is it a strategy? It is one element of a strategy that you can facilitate, but it happens to you rather than you having full control. For business owners in care-based, service-based, professional industries, this is especially common. You did great work, people taught, others sent clients your way, and over time you started to think, this is working. If I just keep delivering great quality, the clients will keep coming. And for a while, that's exactly what happens. But the structural problem is that having only a referral-based pipeline gives you almost no control over the three most important variables. Volume, in that you can't predict how many referrals will come or when. Timing, referrals are lumpy, feast and famine cycles are common. And quality, referred clients aren't always the right clients for your model. Now, for those of you in the allied health, therapy, education, wellness, or any caring profession, this challenge has an additional layer. Your training was almost entirely focused on clinical or technical excellence. You were taught to be extraordinary at what you do, and rightly so, but you were not taught how to build a business around it or be extraordinary at business. So when it comes to growth, you may have the belief, if I'm good enough, people will find me. Research in entrepreneurial cognition, including work published in the Journal of Business Venturing, consistently shows that founders from technical or professional backgrounds are significantly more likely to underinvest in proactive business development, often citing ethical discomfort with marketing themselves as the reason. And this is what I see all the time, and have also experienced myself too. When you care deeply about providing a service to someone, asking for sales, putting yourself out there in marketing feels almost misaligned with who you are as a person. But I want to offer you an opportunity to reframe this today. Growing your business is not a compromise of your values. It's an expression of them. Charging for your services is an exchange of value. If people don't know about the good that you do, how can you do good for more people? If you believe in what you do, if you genuinely think that what you do, your service, your products change lives, then staying small isn't noble. It's limiting the number of people you can help. Let me give you a sense of what this actually looks like in practice. In healthcare specifically, the numbers tell a really clear story. A 2022 study published in the Australian Health Review found that the majority of private allied health practices identify word of mouth and GP or specialist referrals as their primary new client acquisition channel. Yet the same study found that these practices reported the highest levels of revenue volatility and the greatest difficulty in planning for team expansion or infrastructure investment. Why is this? Because when your pipeline is controlled by someone else's behavior, your growth is controlled by someone else's behavior. The GP who was your biggest referrer retires. The specialist who liked you moves to a different hospital. The network you relied on gets disrupted by a new provider who offers something faster or cheaper. None of that is your fault, but it all affects your business. There's also a less obvious version of the referral trap, one that doesn't announce itself as a crisis, it just slowly limits your ceiling. If you have a full caseload, congratulations, you're in demand, but ask yourself, can you take a week off without your revenue dropping? Can you add a second practitioner or team member without the whole model breaking? Do you know where your next 20 clients are coming from? Or are you hoping the phone keeps ringing? Are you growing or are you just staying full? Being consistently full is not the same as having a scalable business. It's the same as being a single point of failure with a waiting list. Research by the Australian Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman consistently highlights that small business owners, particularly in service industries, confuse revenue with resilience. A full diary can mask structural fragility for years, right up until something disrupts it. And this is one of the biggest blockers that I've helped allied health practice owners with, one that can fundamentally change how you do business, but also how you feel about business. For one practitioner I worked with through the Next Level Growth program last year, she felt so negatively about her business at the start of the program, she was considering giving it up. By the end of the program, she had new practitioners and she'd accepted a speaking gig at an industry conference late last year. If I can be direct, because I think this is the heart of why this pattern persists, your identity is tied to your craft. You became a technical specialist, a physiotherapist, an osteopath, a psychologist, a dietitian, speech pathologist, occupational therapist, an optician, a dentist, because you wanted to help people. The work itself is the reward. The idea of running a business can feel like a distraction from that, or worse, a corruption of it. And so when it comes to things like marketing or positioning or pricing strategy or growth planning, there's a bit of a quiet resistance, a little voice that says, this is not what I do. That's not why I do this. I totally understand it and I totally respect it too, but I want to challenge the assumption underneath it because it might be costing you more than you realize. A landmark study by Romanelli and Cassina in the Strategic Management Journal found that professional practitioners who make the transition to business ownership face a specific cognitive challenge. They continue to evaluate their decisions through a practitioner lens rather than an owner lens. This can show up practically like taking on the wrong clients because it feels harsh to say no, or undercharging because it feels more ethical, because you want to make it accessible, avoiding marketing because it feels self-promotional, staying hands-on in every appointment because delegation feels like a quality risk. None of these instincts are wrong, but when they're operating without a business strategy to balance them, they become the constraints that cap your growth and potentially accelerate your burnout. The most effective practitioners I worked with have learned to hold both identities simultaneously. They're excellent clinicians and intentional business builders, not one or the other, but both. As one participant in our Next Level Growth program put it last year, I've built automations, SOPs, and templates that allow others to take ownership. I've set up systems that free me to focus on leadership and growth, not just survival. She didn't stop being a great clinician when she started building her business with intention. She became a better one because she had the time and headspace to grow rather than just survive. So let's get a bit practical. If referrals are a channel and not a strategy, what does a strategy actually look like? It starts with a shift in mindset from reactive to designed, I say from doer to architect. A growth strategy for someone in a purpose-based service business doesn't mean running Facebook ads or hiring a marketing team. It means making intentional decisions about 4 things. The first one is your positioning, who you're for and who you're not for. The most referral-dependent businesses are often the least differentiated ones. They take every client in every presentation from every referrer because turning work away feels wrong. But research in competitive strategy consistently shows that businesses serving a defined niche outperform generalists on profitability, client outcomes, and practitioner satisfaction. Narrowing your focus is not exclusionary. It's how you become known for something specific enough that the right people find you and then tell others. A physiotherapy practice that specializes in post-surgical rehabilitation will attract more of those clients. They command higher fees and generate more referrals from surgeons than a generalist practice trying to serve everyone. The second is visibility. Being findable beyond your referral network, and this is the one that gets the most resistance. Visibility doesn't mean shouting about yourself. It means being present in the places where your ideal clients are looking for answers. According to data from the Australian Digital Health Agency, over 72% of Australians now search online before booking a health appointment, even when referred. We saw the changes that happened in the NDIS and how that put the power then into the client to find their own allied health practitioners or own service providers. And so people are they're doing that search themselves. Your referral network gets them interested, but your online presence gets them to call. Visibility can look like a really clear, well-structured website that speaks to your ideal client's specific concern. It looks like educational content, articles, short videos, social posts that demonstrate your specific expertise, making sure that your Google business profile is optimized so people can find you locally. And then having strategic relationships with complementary providers, not just hoping for referrals, but actively building a network. None of this requires a marketing budget, but it does require consistency and clarity of message. The third one is capacity design, building for growth, not just fullness. What does your business look like at double the current revenue? Not what you'd feel like. What does the model look like? Who does what? How are your appointments structured? What systems are in place? If you can't answer that, you don't have a growth plan. It's more of a hope plan, a hope that things keep ticking along. Capacity design means deliberately planning for the next stage before you need it. It means asking, what would I need to delegate to grow without burning out? What systems would need to exist for another practitioner to deliver the same standard of care? What is my model if I can't see clients for a month? Research published in the Journal of Small Business Management found that small businesses that engage in formal growth planning, even simple written plans, are significantly more likely to survive and scale than those that operate reactively. In one study, the difference in the 5-year survival rates was over 30 percentage points. The fourth and final one is financial architecture, pricing and revenue diversification. Referral-dependent businesses often have a second vulnerability that compounds the first, a single revenue stream, one service, one fee structure, one type of client, one referral pathway. The high risk is that it's a single point of failure. Revenue diversification for referral-based businesses might look like group programs alongside individual appointments, digital resources, or self-paced education, packages rather than per session billing, corporate or organizational contracts, supervision or professional development for other practitioners. Each of these shifts the revenue model from entirely time-dependent to partially scalable, meaning your income is no longer capped by the number of hours you can physically work. McKinsey research on small and medium services businesses found that those with 3 or more distinct revenue streams showed 40% greater revenue stability during economic disruptions than single stream equivalents. I want to close this with something that I think is important. There is sometimes a belief in people who care deeply about what they do, that building a strong business is somehow in tension with the reason you went into the work, that if you focus on growth, you're focusing less on people. But I want to challenge that. A business that is financially precarious cannot consistently show up for its clients. A practitioner who is burned out cannot give their best. A practice that is stuck at capacity cannot help the people on its waiting list. Growth, done intentionally and with integrity, is how you help more people more sustainably over a longer period of time. A 2023 report from the Allied Health Professions Australia highlighted that burnout rates across the sector are running at historically high levels, with workload, financial pressure, and lack of control cited as the 3 primary drivers. 2 of those 3, financial pressure and lack of control, are directly addressed by having a growth strategy, not a bigger workload, a smarter model. You didn't get into this business to scrape by. You got into it to make a difference. A well-built business is how you protect your ability to do exactly that. If you do one thing this week, do this simple diagnostic on your business. Ask yourself 3 questions. The first one is, if my top 3 referral sources stopped tomorrow, how long before my revenue was materially affected? Question number 2, can I describe in writing my growth strategy for the next 12 months beyond keep doing really great work and hope people talk about it? And question number 3, what is one thing I am currently doing that is keeping me busy but not moving the business forward? If question 1 makes you uncomfortable, question 2 comes up blank, or question 3 has a very obvious answer, those are your starting points. You don't have to overhaul everything at once. You just have to stop mistaking a full diary for a growth strategy. Referrals are a gift. Build a business that deserves them and a strategy that doesn't depend on them. That's the work, and it's entirely achievable. If you would benefit from a structured program that helps you get this set up, we do this in the Next Level Growth Program. Over 8 weeks, we help you get clear on your strategy, build the systems that support it, and develop the confidence to lead your business, not just work in it. If that sounds like what you need, the link to find out more is in the show notes. I'm your host, Sam. Thank you for making time for your personal and business growth today, and hopefully see you next week. Thanks for listening to Make Time, a business podcast by 25/8. If you like the show, please take a moment to write a review and feedback on what you'd like to hear next. If you never want to miss an episode, hit subscribe or follow on your favourite listening channel. If you want to get even smarter, join our newsletter, community, or take one of our programs. Links down below. See you next time.